18 WJTS Sports presents the Evansville Reitz Panthers versus the Jasper Wildcats. This game is brought to you by DuBois County Tire and Supply, McDonald's, Carpet Warehouse, Eubler & Sons, Mariners Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, and Westside Dairy Queen. Now let's go down to the field.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Jasper High School football coverage here on 18 WJTS. I'm Carey Schneider along with Bob Welp, and tonight the Jasper Wildcats are home once at last after a first couple of weeks on the road. The Wildcats make their 2021 debut on Joe Rollwetter Field in Jerry Brewer Alumni Stadium as they will host the Reitz Panthers from the hilltop at Evansville. This is the battle of the unbeatens. Both teams 2-0 here in the early going of the season. They are actually, I believe 2 of 4 unbeaten teams thus far here in the Southern Indiana Athletic Conference, Bob. And tonight, like I said, the Cats are at home finally after a couple of wins against Evansville Memorial. They beat the Tigers 27-19 back a couple weeks ago on August 20th, and then last week took care of Harrison after a slow start, being down, I believe, 12-6, and came back and won that ball game 49-12. So, of course, give us your assessment of the Wildcats thus far. I mean, again, last week's game against Harrison, good turnaround for the Cats right off the bat.
Yeah, I'm really excited about tonight's game. You know, you mentioned 2 out of 4. If you think about it, Jasper plays Reitz tonight. Jasper Reitz undefeated. Next week they got Bosse. As of now, Bosse is undefeated. And then their very next game on the road at Mater Dei's undefeated. So only in the SIAC, if you look at the SIAC compared to the Big 8, this is a third game this season, and this could be monumental for college or for the conference championship. You don't want to have somebody else have to beat somebody else so you can move up the chain.
Absolutely.
You want to control your own destiny. Jasper has an opportunity tonight.
Absolutely, they do have the opportunity. They almost, even though it's only the third game of the year, I hate to say it already this soon, but control their own destiny. Even though they have the lights of course, Castle down the road and whatnot. And, of course, Mater Dei, who is undefeated along with Bosse, Jasper, and Reitz. And so, again, this is a very pivotal game for the Cats to pick up a victory tonight.
Yeah, and when you look at Reitz as compared to the Memorial and the Harrison game.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, the Wildcats, actually, the Panthers won the toss but have deferred to the Wildcats, and they will kick off to the Cats to start this ball game. Among the men back for the Cats is number 20. For the Cats, Braylon Bear. And number 30, is that Sheeter? 31 Day are back to receive for the Cats. Of course, the Wildcats coached by Tony Lewis, and they come into this contest 2-0, as does the Reitz Panthers. And Tony Lewis, of course, led the Panthers to a state championship back in 2009. Here is the kickoff, and it will be Bear taking it inside the 5. He'll bring it forward to the 20. 25, cuts inside, spins off a tackle, and he'll take it inside the 30-yard line to about the 31 or 32 to start the ball game tonight for the Wildcats. So the Cats will have the football first in this ball game. They have it up front line, Michael Beekler, Jackson Bauer, Mateo Hernandez, Gus Heichelbeck, and Jacob Potts. Receivers are all Brand, Ewing, Giesler, and Foley, of course. And in the backfield is Isaac Day along with Ashton Sheeter and the quarterback Will Winesapple.
Well, if you look at the defensive line and the offensive line, even though they're in different colors, they look like the same type of players, such as build and strength and speed.
1st and 10 for the Wildcats with their first play from scrimmage from the 32. Handoff goes to, I believe, was that number 30, Sheeter.
Sheeter did a nice job of hitting that hole. The big thing about Sheeter is not only is he tall, but he's 211 pounds. And I mean, this guy is a mountain. And when he comes through and he gets hit, he's getting 3 and 4 yards extra, and that's going to really benefit Jasper late in the game.
6'2", 211 pounds, and a senior. Pickup of 7 on the play, 2nd down and 3. Carey goes again to Sheeter. And Sheeter will take it across the 40 to about the looks like about the 43-yard line. That'll be enough for a pickup of 6 or so, and that'll be a first down for the Cats. Sitzman on the tackle for the for the Panthers.
Schneider not too happy with himself on that one. He let some guy take one leg out and he went down. If he gets through there, he's got open pastures.
Opening drive of this ball game. Here is Weinzappel on the carry. He will keep it on the option, and he'll take it right to midfield to the 50 for a pickup of 7.
That is one of the best improvements in such a short season. When Weinzappel's pitching that ball, when he was running that play against Memorial and Harrison, he was waiting to the very last second and tossing it. Unfortunately, when you wait that long and you've got contact, the ball gets put on the turf. He bit the ball there, went up top, and got a good game.
Cats with a nice drive going here in the first drive of the ball game. 1st and 10 at midfield, or 2nd down and 3 at midfield. On the carry for the Wildcats, Isaac Day. Day will take it inside the 45 to the 44. So a pickup of 6 on that play. 2nd down and 4 coming up.
Well, Jasper's starting to chew up some yards, and that's one good way to keep Reitz's offense off the field is controlling the ball. But their coach over there just brought in Leland Head. He is 6 foot 325, number 77, putting him right in the middle, trying to stop that inside run.
1st and 10 for the Cats at the 44-yard line. Man in motion down there, and here the handoff goes to Day again. And actually take that back. That's number 13. My apologies. Number 13, Cooper Ewing. So Cooper Ewing on to carry.
The three-headed monster that Jasper really throws at these guys in Day and Schneider and Ewing, you know, if you look at their stats towards the end of the game, they're all very similar. So to bring in fresh legs like that, and then whatever Weinzappel gets in, that's just icing on the cake.
The Cats with a very well sustained drive here, keeping the ball on the ground to start off this game. 2nd down and 4 at the 38. Here's Weinzappel, pitches on the option to Ewing, and he will take it across the 35 to close to the 31-yard line.
Very nice job of keeping that ball out. He let the defender commit to him, get about a half yard, and then got the ball out. He did not let the defender get any close to him. And you pitch that out there. Our running back's doing a good job of sidestepping, getting extra yards.
I was going to say it should be enough for a 1st down, and indeed it is. So 1st and 10 for the Cats at the 33-yard line. Cats keeping the Reitz defense on their heels here in the opening drive of the night's game. Big Southern Indiana Athletic Conference ball game here on the 3rd week of the season. Here is a handoff again to Ewing. Ewing on the 3rd straight play. He was carried the football, and he will have another 1st down.
Well, Jasper's mostly run to the right side. They've run a couple of counters, which against Harrison was flowing so hard to our first initial read. Coming with that counter was very successful. Lewis has went to it twice already early in this game.
12-yard pickup on that run by Ewing. 1st down and 10 at the 21. 8.5 minutes to go in the first quarter of play. Opening drive of the contest. Handoff goes to Day this time. Day will take it across the 15, inside the 15 to about the 14 for almost a pickup of 7.
I'm going to give a lot of kudos, shout out to our offensive line. Not only are they making their initial hit, but when they're sliding off their guy, they're picking up that linebacker, which is allowing us to get 6-7 yards. And if that continues through the rest of the night, it should be a good victory for the black and gold.
2nd down and 2. Ball actually spotted at the 13. 2nd and 2 at the 13. Weinzappel under center. Another man in motion again, and Weinzappel again will give it to Ewing. Ewing this time will perhaps maybe lose a yard on that play. In fact, he will.
Hudson did a great job, number 82 for Reitz, of coming in and reading that, breaking down in his position. So Day, if he pounced it into the middle, that's where all his buddies were. But he had his body up on the hash to where he couldn't get to the outside. Excellent play by the number 82.
So that brings up 3rd down and 2 at the 22. Third down and 3. Day on the carry. Day bounces off a couple of tackles. Did he make it? He did not. He got down to the 1-yard line. The far line judge on the far side marks him down at the 1.
Well, I tell you, you know, with all the jerseys and everything, it was very difficult for us to see it, and good of you to spot the one over there on the far side. But right now on this initial drive, Jasper is getting 3, 4, 5 yards after first contact, which is a very good sign.
Cats have yet to throw the football in this ball game, and they won't on this one, as it is number 30, Ashton Sheeter, from 1 yard out into the end zone for a touchdown. So the Wildcats draw first blood on the first drive of the game. They lead it 6-0 with 6:41 to play in the first quarter.
All that is, Carey, is coming out here saying this is what we're doing. Jerry Brewer used to say back in the day, gentlemen, it doesn't matter if they know what you're doing. If you execute, you will be successful.
Wildcats with the attempt of the extra point. Kick is up, and it is good. And the Wildcats draw first blood in this contest. The battle of unbeatens here in the Southern Indiana Athletic Conference. They lead at 7-0, 6:41 to play in the first quarter. We'll be back right after this here on 18 WJTS. For Alumni Stadium, where the Wildcats lead at 7-0 on a touchdown run by Ashton Sheeter. The Wildcats lead at 7-0 with 6:41 to go in the first quarter. 89. And they will kick off to the Panthers as Jonas Burnett and Roland Vera are back to receive for the Panthers on the kickoff coming from Connor Foley. Foley took over the kickoff duties last week against Harrison. Of course, the extra point was made by number 80, Sam Leonard. And it looks like Burnett will bring the ball forward on the return. Number 34, Jonas Burnett. And he will take it to about the 29-yard line, perhaps. And the Panthers will start their drive for there tonight, 1st and 10.
So Jasper and Reitz, of course, starting their drive now, are very close into their initial starting points. The big thing about Reitz is when they run their wide receiver screens, they will come back towards the quarterback, so they're in motion, not like Memorial where they stand up and catch.
Nate Staley out of the shotgun will fire a pass that is complete on the far sideline. And it looks like number 19 for the Panthers, Isaac Maynard, on the reception for about 9 yards.
You will hear a lot of people make a comment that we got to get pressure, Yeah, you do, but that ball was out in a hurry.
So the Cats again out of the shot, or the Reitz Panthers out of the shotgun. This time the pass is complete to Roland Vera. And Vera spins off a few tackles, and he takes it near midfield to the 49.
When you get somebody like Vera that's got that kind of athletic ability, now he's short and a little bit stocky, but you pound him, he gets late in the game, he's going to start looking or listening for the footsteps of the Wildcat linebackers.
1st and 10 for the Panthers at the 49-yard line. Here's another pass complete, this time to Jay Smith. Number 1, Jay Smith, will take it out of bounds at the Wildcat territory at about the 46-yard line. So Smith on the reception for 5 yards. Brings up 1st down and 5, not 5th down and 5 like the scoreboard says. Anyway, out of the shotgun again. The pass is complete this time again to Smith, it looks like. Smith spits off another tackle. He is going to be taking it to the end zone for a touchdown. So just like that, the Panthers retaliate. And with 5:22 to go in the first quarter, Reitz has come within a point all of a sudden. This game's a 7-6 ball game.
Well, we had 3 opportunities to bring him down. A lot of arms coming up and trying to bring these receivers down. They've got strong trunks, from their hips down. You're not going to bring them down with their arm. You got to put a face mask in them.
46-yard reception on the touchdown. Number 22, Kiefer Sanderson, will attempt the extra point, and his kick is up, and it is good. And the ball game is tied just like that. The Panthers come right back and put 7 of their own on the board. We're tied at 7 apiece with 5:22 to go in the first quarter of play. Back after this here on 18 WJTS. Jerry Brewer Alumni Stadium, as the Wildcats and Panthers are now tied. The Reitz Panthers score on I believe that was on a four-play drive with 71 yards. A 46-yard reception by number 7, Hayden Summers. And the extra point kick by Kiefer Sanderson ties this ball game, and Sanderson will kick off to the Wildcats again. And again, it's Bear at about the 5-yard line, bringing the ball forward. 20, 25, 30. My apologies, number 31 actually on the reception for the Wildcats. Isaac Day. So Day with another nice return, this time to about the 41-yard line. Bear had the first return. This time it was Day.
Day does a nice job, just like when he's coming out of the backfield, of seeing that initial contact coming, and right before the contact and the collision happened, sidestepping, coming around to the side and getting another 3-4 yards.
So the Cats will start their second drive of the night, 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. Jack Albrand splits wide to the near side. Weinzappel under center. Will hands it off. Actually keeps the football on the option, and Weinzappel will take it across the 45 to about the 46.
Reitz is really shooting hard to our initial guy coming through. Usually that's Schneider coming into the middle. You see in Day, you see Ewing usually sometimes fly out to the wing and will be the man in motion. But as soon as number 30, if it is Day, 31, they come up in the middle, they're crashing hard. Now, we ran the counter twice, and we were successful. That should be there most of the night.
2nd down and 4 from the 47. The ball is spotted. Handoff goes to Schneider. Schneider will take it across midfield. By the way, these two ball clubs are moving the football right now. Of course, Reitz in the air, Jasper on the ground. It's going to be a battle of ball control here by B, perhaps. Right now, both teams move the football at will.
Well, the way what you're seeing and what you're explaining is dead money. Now, what's going to happen here is somewhere in here, somebody's going to have a holding penalty. Somebody's going to put the ball on the turf. It's going to be that mistake that gives these guys the edge.
1st and 10, Jasper at the Reitz 48. Weinzappel drops back for the first time tonight. He's got Albrand. He is incomplete as it was a little bit wide to the left. He was actually triple teamed there. 3 defenders for Reitz covering Jack at that time, and Weinzappel didn't do too bad at trying to put the ball in place. It was just a little bit wide left.
Well, he put it in a spot to where if Albrand doesn't get it, no one gets it. But Albrand was kind of fighting with number 5 right there. If that ball would have been had a little bit more air underneath it, and Albrand got his head turned around, he's a good enough athlete to chase that down.
Elijah Bringo is who Bob was referring to, number 5 for the Panthers, one of the defenders on the play. Here is a handoff. It goes to number 13 for the Cats, Cooper Ewing. Ewing will pick up perhaps at least 2, maybe 3 on the play.
I'm kind of guessing with Coach Lewis here, being that we're 3rd down and about 7, 8. If we can pick up 4 to 5 yards here, this may be 4 down territory.
3rd down situation coming up for the Cats. 3rd down and 8 at the 46. Ball game moving along. Under 3.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. 7-7 tie. Weinzappel rolls left. Fires downfield. He's got a man. It's incomplete.
Flags
and
everywhere.
The flags will.
You got to be kidding me.
No flags fly.
He tackled in 2 seconds before the ball got there. Oh, that is terrible.
Was that number 6 on the intended receiver? Joey McGimpsey was the intended receiver, and he appeared to be the little contact on it from the Reitz defender before that, while that play was being unfolded.
That's polite saying a little there.
Nonetheless, the Wildcats will be forced to punt for the first time this evening as Charlie Cabrick comes on to punt. 1 man back to receive for the Panthers. That's Roland Vera. Here's Cabrick's punt. Vera will let it bounce, and the Cats will down it right at the 1-yard line. So the Panthers will have to go 99 yards if they're going to take the lead in this ball game on this drive. So an excellent punt by Cabrick and a great job by the Cats special teams to let the ball roll down to the 1-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Panthers at the 1.
Well, we're going to find out a little bit about Reitz's way of thinking. Regardless of what your game plan is, when the ball gets stopped on the 1-inch line, and you're like they did Reitz on the first drive where they pass. Sometimes coaches will start to try to stuff that ball in the middle, try to give yourself a little bit of space. does Wrights come out immediately and start throwing the ball?
Another question is, do the Wildcats make some adjustments already after that first drive, after allowing the Panthers to drive on just four plays and 71 yards on their first drive?
Yeah, it's. I think that if they start to continue to go to the wide receivers, I think you're going to see our linebacker core start to spread out a little bit.
So out of the shotgun for the Panthers is Nate Staley.
Oh, he's moving.
And Staley from the end zone will fire a pass, intercepted by the Wildcats. Braylon Bear with it. Bear into the end zone for a pick six, and the Wildcats take the lead. Braylon Bear on the first play from scrimmage picks off a pass from Staley, takes it back into the end zone. The Wildcats lead it 13-7.
All started with our defensive line getting some pressure. You could see when the quarterback dropped back, he kind of ducked his shoulders a little bit because the pressure was coming. And then, of course, standing in the end zone, you don't want that safety, so he tried to rush it out, threw it right to him, took it back to the house. Beautiful job by the Jasper defense.
So with Joey McKempsey holding, Sam Leonard will attempt the extra point for the second time this evening. Ball is down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. 14-7 Jasper. The Wildcats defense comes through with the pick six by Braylon Bear. And the Wildcats lead it 14-7 with 2:47 to play in the first quarter. We're back after this here on 18 WJTS, where the Wildcats have taken the lead back from the Panthers on a defensive score, an interception and a return for a touchdown by number 20 Braylon Bear. And once again on to kickoff for the Cats will be Connor Foley, as the Panthers will have Jay Smith and number 34 Jonas Burnett back to receive. Here's the kickoff by a line drive kick that's going to be taken by Smith. He will bring it forward to the 20, 25, cuts outside, still on his feet, and he will be brought down. See the man right there, but I can't pick up his numbers at 19 or number 19 for the Wildcats. Ty Wiseman with the tackle on the return.
So Wright's essentially starting in the same position they did in
the first drive.
Yeah,
that's right.
Let's hope we have a little different result.
So the Wildcat defense looking for another pick. Here's a handoff, and it goes to number 34, and he does make a nice cut. He brings it across the 40-yard line, and again, that's number 34, Jonas Burnett. And Burnett will pick up a first down to the 40.
When Jasper runs our 3-3 stack defense, in the Harrison game and the Memorial game, we always brought our backside linebacker. We've been shooting our linebackers quite a bit. We cannot over-pursue, or that will happen all night.
Ty Wiseman and Isaac Day make the stop on the play for the Cats. Here's a pass again, complete this time to number 19, Isaac Maynard. And Maynard will take it across the 45 to about, let's see, we'll put it, looks like I'll put it down at about the 48. So second down and 3 for the Panthers at the 48.
Nice
this
play.
Time, number 34 again on the carry. Now will carry. And he will not pick up anywhere, maybe 1 yard if that. Actually, they will give him a yard. It'll be third down and 1 at the 49. So Wildcat defense looking for a stop already. And they will jump the line. No flags are thrown. And the pass, though, is complete, and it will be a first down for the Panthers.
You know, Craig and I talked about that last week. There were several times during that Harrison game that the line of scrimmage was broken. No contact, but the line of scrimmage was broken. The year previous, they were flagging all that.
Panthers in hurry-up offense as that pass was completed to Isaac Maynard. Here comes a handoff to Burnett. Burnett will try the near side. He'll stumble on his own feet, and he'll get actually back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, the Wildcat fans, and rightfully so, were standing up. Connor Foley shot in perfectly. He was being held for 3 yards. So it appears tonight that the referees, unless something is like really, really bad, are going to try to keep those handkerchiefs in their pocket.
Credit the Cats defense for getting back before that ball was snapped before that play. Second down and 10 at the 46.
We're giving too much room on that far side to number 19.
Out of the shotgun. Pass up the middle, incomplete, nearly again picked off by the Wildcats as it was intended for number 1, Jay Smith.
what a beautiful design by Reitz. They had the number 19 on the far side go up about 3 yards and stop. The guy that was guarding him, when he looked to the inside, the running back came through and was kind of going through to the post, and they were able to split them.
Although it's 3rd down and 10, Bob, consider this 4-down territory, though?
If they gain 5 to 6 yards.
Out of the shotgun, he rolls right, throws a pass. It's incomplete, intended for number 13 for the Panthers, Alex Clark. And Clark had it right in the numbers, but he let it drop.
Well, we're going to see just how aggressive Reitz is here. If they do not make this, they're putting Jasper in beautiful position.
You got to consider that exactly as well as the Wildcats have moved the football tonight. But they will go for it on 4th down and 10 at the 46. As Staley out of the shotgun.
Watch for a
with
pitch,
Burnett back there with them.
There it is.
They will drop punt as the ball will roll dead at about the 18 or 19 yard line. Because, of course, Staley is their punter, and he took the drop kick to about the, let's see where they spot it. Looks like the 16-yard line.
Well, when Staley came out, the reason I was saying watch out for the pooch punt was when he went his normal setup for a quarterback, he took about a step and a half back.
Mm-hmm.
And so that kind of lets you know he's going to do the little rugby style over there. If you do it that way, then Jasper doesn't put anybody back. If the ball bounces the right way, you pin them like Jasper pinned Reitz.
So Cats take over 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line. There's a handoff, man up the middle. Looks like 31 for the Cats, and that is Isaac Day. Let's get some lights on in here.
You know, Carey, I get more and more impressed with Day every single week. Every time he comes through, he just does so much for this team. And when he gets in there, he's getting hit 3-4 yards and then getting another 3-4 yards. But he does not slow down towards the end of the game.
And that will bring us to the end of the first quarter of play here at Jerry Brewer Alumni Stadium in Joe Rello Field, where the Wildcats lead the Reitz Panthers 14-7. We're back with the second quarter after this here on 18 WJTS. The Wildcats of Jasper lead the Evansville Reitz Panthers 14-7, Bob, after the first quarter.
Well, with Reitz's big play ability, you know, this is the start of the second quarter. If Jasper can punch this in, we do not want to have to punt the ball away, get Reitz the ball, because they can strike quickly, and they get the ball started the third quarter.
As early as this game is, Bob, I was just going to say it'll be a big key for the Cats right now is to get a two-score lead for them on them. And here is on Weinzappel on the option, still on his feet, crossed the 40 before brought down by a pair of Reitz tacklers. Number 24 and 82. And that is, of course, number 24, Aiden Wells, and number 82 for the Panthers, Braylon Hudson.
Well, Reitz has shown no ability to stop Jasper's running attack right now. They brought in big old 325, number 77, into the game to stop that initial run up the middle. The problem is when he's standing our guy up, he has no lateral movement. So if we can break his edge, we've got 6-7 yards to click.
So it's a 1st and 10. For the Cats, and a timeout called by the Wildcats. So Cats call timeout with 11:20 to play here in the second quarter of play. When we come back, it'll be 1st and 10 for Jasper at the 41 here on 18 WJTS. Back at Jerry Brewer Alumni Stadium, Wildcats were forced to call a timeout as they have the football 1st and 10.
Yeah, the play clock was really down.
Right. Yeah, so Cats will have a 1st and 10 at the 41 as we resume play here in the second quarter. 11:20 to play. Weinzappel will get under center with a pair of receivers on the far side, and of course Foley here on the near side. And that's actually the pitch goes to Ewing, and Ewing nearly lost the handle of that football, but he was able to gain control and kept the football and takes it across the 45 to about the 46.
Excellent job of looking the ball in. Like you said, he fumbled it a little bit, but that's one of those where Weinzappel got to the side, and he had a white shirt up on him when he tried to make that pitch. And you and I both know that option's an easy pitch, but if you got somebody hitting your arm, you know, God knows where it's going to end up.
2nd down and 5 at the 46-yard line. Cats would love to get a score here on this drive and get an early 2-score lead as a handoff goes to Schneider, and Schneider will have the first down at the Panthers 49.
The majority of the plays tonight, the Wildcat offensive line has done such a good job of getting into the bodies of the Reitz defenders and standing them up. And when you do that, then the linebackers can't really see anything. So Schneider comes through, falls forward at 6'2", that's 6 yards.
Pick up a 5, 1st and 10 Jasper at the Reitz 49. Handoff again, up the middle. And at this time is number 31. Of course, Isaac Day on the carry.
What a luxury Coach Lewis has. Ewing, Day, Schneider. You play in these physical games. I don't care how good of a running back you are. You get late in the game, you start to wear down. But with a 3-headed monster like that really pays dividends to the black and gold.
I was just going to say, Bob, that's another 5-yard gain on the ground here, and that just keeps the clock running. So right now, Cats did a great job controlling the football and keeping possession. On the carry this time. You can catch the number. It was on the counter here this side. 16 for the Cats. Thanks, Kevin. And that is number 16, Ian Giesler. So Giesler will pick up about 2 or 3 on the play.
Well, I seen the coaches kind of talking to our guys that are running the counter, whether it's Ewing out there or whether it's Giesler out there. That particular time when Giesler came over, he got about the center and cut it up the middle because they're flowing hard to the outside.
So actually a 1-yard gain by Giesler. It's 3rd down and 4 at the 43. Weinzappel rolls to his left. He will fire a pass, and it's going to be intercepted by the Panthers. Number 7 for Reitz, that's Hayden Summers. Summers will take it to the to close to about the 25-yard line, and maybe the 24 actually, and the Reitz Panthers take back the football on the turnover.
Yeah, that's usually when you hear the big-time commentators say, oh, he would like to have that one back. Well, of course. But the thing about it is when he was coming and he initially was going to toss the ball and he pulled it down, his hips got out from underneath him. So that was all arm right there, and it ended up being 3 yards short.
It was a very solidly thrown football, no question about it. And the Panthers will take over 1st and 10 at the 25. So both teams with an interception tonight. Braylon Bear for the Wildcats had a pick 6 earlier in this contest to give Jasper their lead 14-7, but Reitz now with a chance to tie this ball game up as they have the football back as it's sitting just inside the 25.
Yeah, if Weinzappel gets that ball 3-4 yards more down the field, Foley just walks into the end zone.
Play clock is yet to start as the officials some kind of delay, but down here we go. So Staley hands off to Burnett, and Burnett up the middle will have about 12 yards on that play.
Nice job of keeping his shoulder pads going north and south and keeping those legs turning. What a contrast. Jasper snapping the ball with about 7-8 seconds left on that play clock. It gets down to about 21-22, and Reitz has already snapped it.
There's already 26 seconds on the play clock, and they got the play off. There's Burnett again. This time he's across the 50. He eludes Albrand. He's on to the 40 and out of bounds at about the 36.
Offensive line, you have that interception right there. That gives you a little bit of momentum. Offensive line's getting into our legs. You got a sharp running back coming through like that. You just can't find him. And the way we're stunting our linebackers, if he breaks that, it's their defensive backs or it's to the house.
From the 42 out of the shotgun again is Staley, and low snap and a handoff, and maybe a pickup of about 2 or 3 on that play before the Wildcat defensive linebackers pick him up.
Now, tonight when Reitz has run those runs on the first play and they've gotten 2 or 3 yards, they've immediately come back and had Staley take a step back and come to a wide receiver screen, and usually to number 19 out here. Let's see if we do that again.
Panthers with one man wide on this near side. That is Maynard. Staley and a whistle and a flag flies. We'll have a legal procedure against the Panthers. So a dead ball foul, legal procedure against Reitz. That'll take them back 5.
What do we call those, Carey? Drive killers.
Absolutely. But the way Reitz has moved the football and with their quickness, Bob, I'm not sure. Hopefully it will make a bigger difference, but we'll see.
Well, if their running back is going to gouge our middle the way they are, I mean, Burnett's coming through there and hitting it. We're going to have to stop stunting our linebackers.
Same formation as the last time, as once again, Maynard splits wide to the near side. Staley out of the shotgun. He will roll to his right. He'll fire a pass out here on the flat. That is to number 1, Jay Smith. And Smith is open field tackle made by number 16 for the Cats, Ian Giesler.
Well, you had brought up a question, when they were on the 48-yard line talking about 4-down territory. This, without question, is 4-down territory.
Especially the way they are moving the football, no question about it. And they're keeping the Wildcat defense on their toes, moving it and working quickly.
Well, great play calling, taking the receivers deep, making all our guys go deep, and then sending the running back out from underneath.
Staley again out of the shotgun with Burnett behind him. And here's a handoff to Burnett. Burnett inside the 25 to about the 21, maybe the 22 actually.
Well, big old Stone Silver, number 65 for Reitz, coming in at 6'2", 225. He was leading the way for Burnett coming through that hole. And he wasn't blocking anybody, so our pursuit was horrible.
He's 6'2", 220 pounds. Burnett again. Burnett up the middle. And this time he'll be wrapped up by the Wildcats' Ty Wiseman, it looks like.
Now our linebackers kind of took a couple of steps up like they were coming and then took a half step back to kind of read that, and it played right into our strength.
1 yard pickup on that play. 2nd down and 9. At the 20-yard line.
You got to keep an eye on Maynard over here. He's one-on-one with us.
Wildcats looking to stunt here a little bit there, Bob, and a timeout will be called by Reitz. As a little confusion by the Reitz Panthers offense, or at least by them, I should say, as we'll force them to call a timeout with 5:55 to play in the second quarter of play here at Jerry Burr Alumni Stadium. Panthers looking to score. They trail the Wildcats 14-7 here on 18 WJTS. Back at Jerry Burr Alumni Stadium, 14-7 is the score. 2nd down and 8 at the 20-yard line.
Here we come again.
Pass this time is complete to number 11 for the Panthers, Branson Beal.
There's no way that we're going to be able to stop that tonight with quarterback catching the ball half step and the ball gets out. It does not give our defensive line enough pressure. Now we're stunting, but they're pushing us back 8 yards on the outside, just turning, ball timing, nothing you can do.
3rd down and 1. And there is, again, number 34 for the Panthers, Jonas Burnett on the carry.
Well, even though that was a 1st down, that's one thing we have to do with Burnett. We have to hit him time and time and time again, so when we get late, they don't have the 3-headed monster that Jasper does. When this gets late in the game and you continue to pound him, that's going to pay dividends.
1st and goal for Reitz at the 10.
We got Maynard on the far side.
And Staley hands off to Burnett. Actually, take that back. There was a quick pass that was intended for number 19 for Reitz. Isaac Maynard, as Bob called it.
Well, he did that. What I don't understand about Staley, that was kind of the same thing that Winesapple did on his interception. Maynard stands 6'5", Foley's like 6'5". Put it up to where nobody else can go. That's all you got to do.
That's right. 2nd down and 10. 2nd and 10 from the 2nd and goal from the 10.
Same play.
Same play, right to Maynard again. This time he will elude one tackle, and he'll pick up maybe 5 or 6 yards as he's out of bounds on the far side.
Well, just like throwing to Foley and just like Schneider running, when you got that kind of length, if you hit him in the legs and he falls forward, that's 3 yards.
Now they're down to the 2-yard line. Actually make that the 3-yard line. 3rd down and goal from the 2, excuse me. It's 3rd and 2.
Well, they got Smith in
again. Got to quit depending on the scoreboard. Anyway, under 5 minutes to play. Handoff up the middle to number 34, Jonas Burnett. And Burnett's going to be stopped short of the goal line to about the 1. So brings up 4th down and goal from the 1 there, Bob.
Here we go. Now, this is where they have the advantage. When they got Maynard, just throw it up and let them go. Now, let's see if they run Burnett right up the gut, but we're going to stack the middle.
Under center this time. And the Cats are going to stop him, as it looked like the ball may have came loose as the quarterback, Nate Staley, looked like he was going down for perhaps a fumble, but regardless of the play, the Wildcats take over on downs on a goal line stand by the Jasper defense.
Well, when you had Burnett, he was coming up to set. They were coming out here to Maynard. They were just going to throw it up. But the defensive line for Jasper hit on it. As soon as that ball moved, they made such strong initial contact that you drove the center right back into the quarterback. That's why the ball popped down. Now, Jasper needs to take advantage.
So just like Reitz earlier, Jasper now will start in deep in their own territory, this time from the 2-yard line with 4:15 to play in the second quarter. So on the carry, on the far side, see if we pick up that number there. Was it Ewing or Day? Cooper Ewing actually on the carry. Probably was right the first time. So Cooper Ewing actually on the carry, number 13.
What an awesome run. I know he didn't get a ton of yards, but he had contact when he was in the black part of the end zone. And was still strong enough to get around and get us a couple yards.
And give us whatever breathing room we could get on that play. 2nd down and 8 this time from the 4. Handoff up the middle. And we got a little bit of extracurricular activity. It looked like number 26 for the Panthers actually took a kick. Alex Sitzman took a kick at a Jasper player.
And once again, the handkerchief stays in the pocket.
3rd down and 6 on the carry. A gain of about gain of 2. So 3rd and 6 from the 6 this time.
Now, Coach Lewis has pulled out some unbelievable calls out of his pocket. I got to think he's going to stay conservative.
2 tight ends set this time with, it looks like, with Albrand split far to the near side. And
running the counter.
Up the counter, up the middle. It's going to be a 1st down and more. Big play by the Wildcats. Number 16 on the carry, it looks like. Number 16 for the Cats, Ian Giesler on the run.
Great job of planting your foot and getting up. But you and I were talking during the break about the pursuit that Reitz is really starting to bring with their linebackers. And we were talking that counter. So far, he's run it 4 times tonight. He only ran it 3 times in the whole game against Harrison.
2.5 minutes to play here in the first half. 1st and 10 for Jasper at the 24. Here's Weinzappel, pitches to Ewing, and Ewing's going to lose maybe about 3 or 4 yards on that at least, maybe 5.
I know that works once in a while, but we were being so successful with our counter and Day and Sheeter up the middle. You know, why change it?
The play results in a loss of 4. 2nd down and 14 now from back at the 20.
Well, Reitz let us off the hook, because of Jasper's execution, but they let us off the hook early. Now they're at 2nd and long. Let's see what Coach Lewis is going to do here.
So 1:49 to play in the first half. 2nd down and 4 from the 20. Weinzappel back, rolls out to his left. He's got Albrand, and Jack makes the catch, but he's going to be a little short of the 1st down. And he will gain, actually, probably about 13 yards, and he's going to bring up a 3rd down and perhaps 1.
Best ball that Weinzappel's thrown all night. And the one thing I like about Jack Albrand, anybody pay attention to the baseball team, you put a ball up in the air within 10 yards of him, it seems like he's got the ability to chase it down.
1:13 to play in the half. Weinzappel under center. He will hand it off up the middle to Day. And Day will take it across the 40 to about the 43.
Now we're getting our plays in a little bit faster, and Jasper will get back up. Once they set it, okay, now they got the clock moving. Jasper's got 2 timeouts, but if we can get those 1st downs, get that clock stopped, get our players in there and get moving.
Under a minute.
We may have a chance for 3 points if we don't put it in the end zone.
Under a minute, 1st and 10 from the 43 of Jasper. Come on, Cats, move the ball. Let's go. Here's a handoff to, on the keeper. On the option is Weinzappel. And the Cats will call a timeout. So the Cats call their 2nd timeout. with 36 seconds to go in the first half. Cats with the football at their own 47-yard line. Second down and 6 coming up after we return after this on 18 WJTS. The Wildcats face a second down and 6 at their own 47, Bob, with just 36 seconds to play after the timeout.
This next play is going to tell us how the next 36.3 is going to play out. I would not be surprised to see him at least try to go put the ball in the air. If he runs it with just dives up the middle, if it works in our favor, great. But that's just more of let's go into the locker room with a 7-point lead.
Albrand and Cooper Ewing on the near side as Weinzappel back, and he finds Albrand into Wright's territory just inside the 45 to about the 44.
Not only doing a good job of getting past the sticks to get the first down, but getting out of bounds to keep the clock stopped until we snap it.
So that bring up first and 10 for the Cats with just under 32 seconds to play. Stops the clock with a play out of bounds. 31.9 seconds to play. First and 10, Cats at the Wright's 44.
Well, with one timeout, you would think that Coach Lewis is going to start to put the ball up in the air here in the last 31 seconds.
Cats score here before the half will be huge as the Panthers will have the ball to start the second half. Passes up the middle is incomplete, intended for Braylon Bear. Bear was wide open, but the pass was a little bit high.
Well, the one thing about it, though, is we lost about 3 seconds on that. So, the ball's in the air. Yeah, it happens. He had a little bit of pressure there, but he didn't put it in a place to where a mistake would let Reitz intercept the ball.
So with 28 and a half seconds to play, second down and 10 now from the 44. Weinzappel out of the gun. Looks right, now throws a pass to Connor Foley, who makes his first possession or catch and touch of the night. And Foley is close to a first down. The Wildcats will have a first down, and they will look like they will quickly ground it. Take a quick snap and spike the football. 17 seconds, 15 seconds. Cats losing precious time. Actually, Weinzappel will keep it. He'll fire another pass, this time complete to Albrand on the far sideline. And Jack takes it inside the 20, and the Cats will quickly call a timeout with 4.8 seconds to go.
Masterfully done. Now we're going to see if our kicker's got the leg.
That will set up a field goal attempt here from the 20-yard line, so it should be a 17, or sorry, I'm trying to do the math here. 20 plus 17 is 37. That's what happens when you try to quick too thinkly. Quick too thinkly. So, I just wonder if you're going to catch that joke right away.
Hey,
anyway, but nonetheless, with the timeout, the Cats will have the football at the 20-yard line, and again, that will set up a 37-yard field goal attempt, Bob, with 4.8 seconds to go.
Well, of course, you and I are looking for the best-case scenario for Jasper, and that's getting the 3 points, going up 2 scores, and then, of course, they get the ball at the start of the third quarter. But even if he doesn't miss this, we've run the clock all the way down to where they can't respond.
So Sam Leonard comes on with Joey McGimpsey the hold. 37-yard field goal attempt by the Wildcats to try to take a 10-point lead into the locker room. Kick is up, and it's going to be a line drive short, no good. So the Wildcats come up short on the field goal attempt. And the score will remain Jasper 14, Wright 7.
Well, with the way Jasper's been running the ball in the first 2 games and getting our punching the ball in the end zone, we've been extra point, and they've looked pretty good. When you look at that kind of distance, as when you're compared to kicking all the extra points, sometimes young man gets a little adrenaline, tries to put a little bit too much in. It's all the same motion. It's all the same leg speed.
So, with 2 seconds to play, the Panthers will take a knee and will head to the locker room, down 14-7 to the Jasper Wildcats. 14 for the Wildcats, 7 for the Panthers. We're at halftime at Jerry Brewer Alumni Stadium and Joe Redletter Field. We'll be back to talk a little bit about this first half and have the second half kickoff after this here on 18 WJTS. Back at Jerry Brewer Alumni Stadium at Joe Redletter Field, Carey Schneider along with Bob Welp, and we are just about ready to bring the second half of play in tonight's matchup between the Reitz Panthers and the Jasper Wildcats. Cats lead at 14-7. Quick look at the stats. The Wildcats are led in rushing by Isaac Day with 54 yards on 8 carries. Will Weinzappel has 34 yards on 4. Cooper Ewan, 7 carries, 30 yards, and Ashton Sheeter, 23 of 5. The Cats with a total of 100 and let's see here. On the ground, the Wildcats have a rush of total of 155 yards on the ground, 62 for the Panthers. 201 yards for the Cats with 173 total yards by the Panthers, who have thrown for 111 yards, led by receiving by Hayden Summers with 1 reception, 46 yards. Isaac Maynard, 4 receptions for 29. Almost as evenly as you can see, about with the difference about 30 yards here overall on offense, Bob. But with the 14-7 score, needless to say, the difference is the Reitz turnovers.
Absolutely. The pick six, and then even though they didn't turn the ball over physically, it was a turnover on downs when they were 4th and 1 coming down into this far end zone trying to punch it in. That was a big thing. One thing that Coach Lewis absolutely, that 3 points would have been really nice, but these youngsters sometimes, with the adrenaline, they try to overkick it and the ball comes off their foot wrong, which looks like what had happened down there because our kicker's really good. But it's Coach Lewis, we've got it. If we make a mistake, they get a quick score. Yeah, that really stinks, but you know what? We're tied. It doesn't put them up. So if Jasper can be opportunistic like they were in the first half and get a stop and punch it in the way we've been running the ball, it's going to be very difficult for Reitz to get back in this game.
The Wildcats and the Panthers have done a great job moving this ball, needless to say. Both teams have only been forced to punt once. And the Wildcats, of course, like I said, Bob, the difference are those turnovers for Reitz, fortunately for the benefit of the Wildcats, as Reitz, of course, Braylon Bear with the interception return. And, of course, Bear's interception return for 27 yards gave the Cats a 14-7 lead. Cats scored first on Ashton Sheeter's 2-yard run with 6:41 in the first quarter, made it 7-0. Panthers quickly came right back and answered with 5:22 in the quarter to make on a Hayden Summers 46-yard pass from Nate Staley to tie the ball game at 7. And then, like I said, Bears hit 27-yard interception return with 2:47 in the first quarter, made it 14-7. Both teams going scoreless in the second quarter.
Yeah, you and I were talking at break. We were both very surprised the way this game started out, that we would go into the locker room 14-7. Mm-hmm. Fortunately for us, the black and gold are up. Now, as the game is progressing, start here at the second, this could really, really be a big thing for the Jasper defense. Possibly another turnover, what have you. But as long as we can get the ball back without Reitz putting any points on the board, I really like our chances. Our defense we're really stunting our linebackers a lot. And the problem with that is with their running back, Burnett, he is so quick and plants his foot. He gets past that initial line right there. We've got 4 defensive backs that's got to try to capture this guy in open space, and that's not an easy thing to do as I see him run back to take the kickoff.
That's right, and take it back, or drop it back for the kickoff by Connor Foley for the Wildcats is Jonas Burnett and Roland Vera once again to start the second half of play. 14-7 is our score. So the Cats defense will be put to the test to start the second half. And a ground ball kick is going to be rolled out of bounds near the 35-yard line. I'm not sure exactly. I'm sure Foley did not intend to do that. At least I wouldn't think so.
He had 2 or 3 of them that he put in the end zone last week against Harrison, and maybe he was trying to get a little extra. But regardless of whether the ball goes out of bounds at the 35-yard line or at the 2-yard line or at the 10-yard line, it goes to the 35. So
right, it didn't make any difference. I was going to point that out myself.
But really, you think about it, Carey, they were starting on the 29 on the average, so we're really not too far off that.
So the Cats will have the Panthers will have the football, and they're going to actually, with the penalty which ensues on that kickoff, they're going to spot it actually at the 40-yard line. So excellent field position for Reitz to start the second half. So as we said, Jasper defense brought to the test to try to keep The Wildcats in the lead, but here's a handoff on the first play of the second half to, once again, number 34, Jonas Burnett. Burnett in the first half. In the first half had, let's see, on the receiver, I'm looking for the rest. Here we go. Burnett, 60 yards on 8 carries, Bob.
Yeah, our yards per catch, stopping those guys. You got to get to the outside. Nice job.
Nice job again, as you said, by number 30, Aston Sheeters. Grabbed Burnett from behind, and Burnett will maybe lose a yard on that. In fact, he will.
Well, we were talking before that play, their yards per catch, we have been doing a good job of keeping those plays, those yards very low. However, when they're running the ball with Burnett, we're hitting him at the line of scrimmage, but we're not wrapping him. So he's getting 8, 9 extra yards. If we could control that and the yards after catch, it should turn out really well.
Timeout for an injury. We have an injured player for Reitz down on the field as a couple of trainers come out to tend to him. And while they do that, let's take a break ourselves here on 18 WJTS. The injured player for the Panthers is their running back, number 34, Jonas Burnett, who came down on the ball, it looked like, on that last play, Bob, and he's really having a tough time at it. I mean, he first got up after the play, but then went back right back down to the turf.
Well, he unfortunately on that particular play, as me and Kevin were talking, they got him from behind also. And when you do that, you got guys hitting you in the front. They're pulling your shoulders back. I mean,
and he's landing right on his belly with that football tucked in your chest there.
It's Sandwich City, and I don't want to see any young man get hurt out here. I mean, we're all playing hard and all trying to do our best, but if they want to sit him on that bench for the rest of the second half, I would be a happy guy.
Well, all due respect, that's exactly right too. But looks like he is really, they're taking a sweet time getting him off the field by the Reitz trainers, along with Jasper's trainer Rodney Crawford, who along with team Dr. Dean Beckman came out to assist during that timeout.
Yeah, when you bring out the opposing team's trainer and their doctor, then there's something pretty serious going on. I hope the young man has gets over it and been able to continue the season.
By all means, so the Panthers will have a new running back, at least at this point of the ball game. Okay, we'll see if Jonas Burnett actually does return to this game. We'll keep an eye on that. 3rd down and 4 for the Panthers as we resume action at the 46-yard line.
Well, I'd say they put Jay Smith in the back. He's run it 3 or 4 times tonight, number 1.
So out of the shotgun, rolls to his left, and the pass is intended for number 19, Isaac Maynard, with wide left, incomplete.
Boy, I tell you what, Maynard is he is a really nice receiver. Tall, lanky, he's got some pretty good speed, good feet underneath him. But Staley has just missed him.
Is that 3 and out for the Panthers, I believe, on the first drive, and will bring up 4th down, and the Panthers will be forced to punt for the second time in this ball game, as their punter, of course, is their quarterback, number 17, Nate Staley, and one man back for the Wildcats right now.
Well, don't sleep on Reitz when it's close to that midfield line.
And there's a punt that's going to roll inside the 15 to about the 14-yard line, as number 31 for the Wildcats, of course, Isaac Day was the lone man back, and Day stayed far away from that football. And we'll let it roll down to the 14-yard line as the Cats will take over 1st and 10.
Unfortunately, we've seen too many times that in whether it's high school, college, professional, you see one of your top players go down that has the ability to take the wind right out of your sails.
And the Cats would like to take advantage of that of that situation, Bob, as they have the ball for the first time in the second half. Would love to get a punch here on this first drive, leading to 14-7. And here is a handoff to Isaac Day. And Day will take it close to the 20-yard line to about the 19, so a gain of 5.
Well, what I've seen so far tonight from Reitz, as far as their linebackers and their defensive backs, as compared to Memorial and Harrison, Reitz has got a lot more speed. So when we get through that line, if we can go more north and south, I think we'll be more productive.
2nd down and 5 from the 19. Weinzappel hands it off to Day again. Isaac Day on the 3rd straight play carries the football. Our second straight play, I should say, carries the football to about the 28-yard line, they'll call it. Plenty for a first down.
Yeah, north and south run. And Reitz is putting number 77 on Leland Head, the 6', 325-pound guy. He's putting him right on top of the center, and he's crashing either left or right. But that's the whole purpose, is to stop that inside gouge.
From the 29-yard line, 1st and 10. Handoff goes to Day again, I believe. Or is that Schneider?
Boy, it's getting a little testy.
Looks like actually
now.
Schneider was on the carry.
This is one of those times when you start to see this, the chippiness, the pushing back and forth, and the extra effort when you tackle the guy. You know, you cannot be that second guy. We've seen too many times. First guy throws that elbow, and the next guy pushes him. That's the one the referee always sees.
A second down and 7 coming up after the 3-yard gain, that is, from the 32-yard line.
We haven't run a counter in a little bit.
Allbrand is the lone receiver on the near side.
There's a counter.
Here is the counter, as you just called it, and that is to Giesler. And Giesler across the 50 to the 40, across to the 30, and out of bounds at about actually the 32-yard line, they're going to call it. So Ian Giesler on the big run puts the Wildcats in great position into Wright's territory at the 32.
Well, I was just kind of thinking about that, Carey, because they were putting Leland right up front, and when our dive was coming in, he started crashing to that side, almost kind of like he was peeking in the backfield. Their linebackers were starting to flow, so the counter was starting to set up, and Coach Lewis, like he's done very well in this early part of the season, it's called the right play.
From the 32 to the 32, 1st and 10 for the Cats at the 32-yard line. Winesapple under center. He keeps it on the option, pitches it to Ewing, and Ewing spins off a tackle and brings it to about the 25-yard line, maybe the 26.
When Winesapple gets a little bit, I would guess in 2 or 3 games, he's going to start planting his foot and cutting that and going north and south. When that defensive back comes up and he's got to take the quarterback or the pitch guy, you cannot stand in the middle, which he did on that one. Now, he pitched and we got good yards, though.
Okay, so they say he was out of bounds actually at the 27-yard line, so a pickup of 5, 2nd down and 5 at the 27. Once again, Allbrand splits far to the far side. One man in the backfield. Handoff goes to Day, and Day breaks a tackle, breaks another one, gets inside of the 20, stays on his feet, takes it all the way to the 15 to 16-yard line, and another first down.
Well, I tell you what, it is a run like that will take your team and elevate them to the top of that mountain as far as enthusiasm goes.
I was just going to say, big momentum builder here for the Cats on this first drive, Bob, as they are marching the football right down the field after holding Reitz 3 and out on their first drive of the half.
Well, it's extremely important, and I've got to think that Coach Lewis was in there saying, look, guys, I know this is easier said than done. Get a stop, get a score. That really puts us in.
We have a flag down on the field. I'm not sure what that's all about.
See who walks
was after
backwards.
The play. Okay, so we have a dead ball foul, personal foul, face mask against the Reitz Panthers. So that'll tack on probably a half the distance of the goal or whatever at that point, or 10 yards or whatever. We'll see where they spot the football. They're going to spot it inside the 10 to, it looks like, the 8.
Well,
so it's going to be 1st and go for the Cats at the 8.
In Reitz's first drive in Jasper's, me and you were mentioning how chippy it was getting out there.
Mm-hmm. So 1st and 10 for the Cats, 1st and go for the Cats at the 8-yard line. Here is Schneider up the middle, or is that Day? Ashton Schneider up the middle for the touchdown. Are they down to the 1? My apologies.
Oh, no, I'm with you, Carey. I think
thought
they're wrong.
I thought he was down. I thought he got that ball right across the line, the goal line, but he was down just inside the 1-yard line. 2nd down and 1.
Well, Jasper needs to keep their composure. We've seen what happened to Reitz on 4th and 1 at this particular time.
And handoff again goes to Schneider. This time he's into the end zone for the touchdown. Ashton Schneider from 1 yard out hits pay dirt, and the Wildcats take a 20-7 lead.
Another flag come on the field.
And we have another penalty flag after the touchdown. Regardless, the Wildcats do score. And coming on to kick the extra point once again is Sam Leonard.
Well, Jasper Reitz is starting to lose their mind a little bit, and Jasper's really got to keep their composure.
Right now, if that penalty is against Reitz, which most likely it is, the way that it looks here, that will be assessed on the kickoff. You would think.
Unless, no, well, they can take it here, I would think, unless it was dead ball. If they move it halfway, they could go for 2.
Well, they're going to set it up for the extra point. The kick is, they call a personal foul against Reitz, and that will be assessed on the kickoff.
Yeah, you're correct.
So Sam Leonard, for the 3rd time tonight, will attempt the extra point with Joey McGimpsey on the hold. Panthers players jump, and now will the Wildcats go for 2, Bob?
Well,
or was it against Jasper?
They actually called it on Jasper, but it shouldn't have been because Reitz made contact with our guy.
False start is the call against the Wildcats, so that'll set them back 5 yards on the PAT here. So this time he's going to have to kick that PAT from the 15. So we'll try it again for Sam.
Should not be an issue.
Extra point kick is up, and it is no good. Wide right, or wide to the left, actually. And the score will remain Jasper 20, Reitz 7 with 7:54 to play. And the 3rd quarter back after this here on 18 WJTS. Alumni Stadium, where the Wildcats, with 7:54 to play in the 3rd quarter, are the owners of a 20-7 lead. As the Wildcats score, that's Sheeter's run. The extra point kick was wide left.
It looks like they're putting Ringo back as Burnett's replacement.
Connor Foley will be kicking off from the Reitz 45-yard line thanks to the penalty by the Panthers for personal foul on after the touchdown, and that kick sails way out of the end zone, needless to say. And Bob, Tippers continue to flare a little bit here in this contest.
Well, when you have 2 teams coming in, especially like Reitz, with the thumping they took last year, you know they were on cloud 9. Got a great season going, beat Harrison, the only common opponent that Jasper and them have. Beat them about the same. What are we doing here?
Looks like they're going to kick it again. So, well, that kick went, I guess they're saying it went out of bounds because it was a kind of a rough-looking kick by Foley. And so the Wildcats are assessed with a 5-yard penalty. This time he's going to kick it from the 50. This time it's going to be a kick up the middle. It's going to go into the end zone and roll out of the end zone this time for a touchback. Well, so the Panthers will have it at the 20.
The only way they could have called anything is if the ball was on this side of the front pylon.
And it was. Apparently it was.
Apparently. It's not the kind of way I see it in my black and gold glasses.
So the Panthers with the football for the 2nd time this half. Cats held them 4 and out. Their first possession of the night, and then the Cats took that possession of their own and scored and hold a 20-7 lead. Here is a pass complete to number 9, Roland Vera. So Nate Staley finds Vera, and a play that's going to actually result in a loss of 1.
Well, when they run that wide receiver screen and they bring it back towards the quarterback, Jasper's been getting behind their blockers up front. Now we're starting to shoot some guys underneath, which is a result of a 1-yard loss.
It's actually 2nd down and 11. So here's a pass up the middle. It is complete this time to number 13, Alex Clark. And that will be a good for a 1st down for Reitz.
Well, if you let Staley drop back and plant his foot and get no pressure, with their receivers and their height, there's a good chance that he's going to complete these because he throws a good ball. That one right there was about 35 yards on the rope.
1st and 10 for the Panthers at the 41-yard line after that pass completion. Staley looks at his sideline. 13 seconds on the play clock.
Did you notice since Burnett went out that they're not running as fast?
Not as fast and not as quickly. And they're also taking a lot of play off the clock.
Now that's impressive there.
Pass is incomplete as is intended for number 19, Isaac Maynard.
You got to throw the ball really high to get the ball over that young man.
So the Wildcat line putting a little pressure on the Reitz quarterback.
Well,
second down and 10 at the 41.
One thing I've noticed about Staley, if he can drop back and plant his foot and throw the ball down in the middle of the field, is a lot better than with him going to the outsides.
Staley looks downfield.
Foley's got pressure.
Pass is batted around down. Actually, somebody got a piece of it, and it will go out of bounds on the far sideline, incomplete.
Foley.
As Connor Foley got a piece of that pass.
So they've got Connor Foley down at 6'5", and he puts his arms up. That's got to,
I tell you what, that arm strength puts him at about 6'9" or 6'8", whatever.
And Staley's got some height to him, too.
That's right. Well, Staley himself, he registers at 6'5", 185, at least according to the roster here. Flag is down. Free play for the Panthers. As on the carry is number 17, Nate Staley. The official goes down on the play as Staley takes it into Wildcat territory.
I thought we had an illegal shift on Reitz.
Is that right? Okay, well, it will be the official telling Coach Lewis to get off his field. As Tony Lewis, the Wildcat mentor, trying to get the officials' attention as there was a penalty flag flown as that play commenced, and it is an illegal shift, as you indicated, Bob, against the Panthers. So that'll negate that play.
Coach Lewis is such a competitor, even on a ball that's coming back because of the penalty. He doesn't want to see it go over midfield. So he was letting the referee know, and, of course, the referee let him know he was the boss.
Mm-hmm. So as a result of the penalty, it'll bring up 3rd down and 15 now at the 36.
Kind of like when I'm at the house, Cheryl always lets me know she's the boss.
Of course, I'm sure she does. So Nate Staley out of the shotgun once again, with Smith behind him. That pass is thrown up towards the left and actually is incomplete, intended for number 9, Roland Vera.
But Jasper did a great job of bringing their linebackers, but they stunted 2 guys in the same hole, so the blocker had to choose instead of separating it, and they got into his feet. He threw it off his back foot, came up short.
Incomplete pass brings up 4th down, so the Panthers once again are forced to punt for the 3rd time tonight. Coming on to punt, of course, is quarterback Nate Staley. And again, 1 man back deep for the Wildcats. Pat ball was that blocked, or did he just punt it off the side of his foot? Regardless, it's a very short punt that's going to give the Cats the football in Wright's territory.
Yeah, that's a big break. I don't know exactly if Cabrick got his hand on that one, but one thing he did do for sure is he caused him to take a sidestep to the right. Hence, he kicked it off the side of his foot, and the ball ended up where it was.
So the Cats will have the football back and have a chance to really take control of this ball game as they lead at 20-7 with 6:04 in the 3rd quarter. Take a little early control of this contest, Bob, but they could punch one in on this drive.
And Reitz has shown no ability to stop Jasper's run. They may get one here and one there, but as far as consistency, they have not stopped us.
From the 47, Weinzappel hands it off to number 31 for the Cats. And, of course, that is Isaac Day. Day will pick up 4, maybe 5 on the play.
That drives defensive coordinators crazy. When you see somebody with the strength of Day and Sheeter coming through the middle, and you've got Reitz coming up and trying to tackle them around the shoulder pads, you may get them down, but you're going to give up 2-3 yards every time.
Cats are going to try to control the line of scrimmage, as you know, Bob, with a 5-yard pickup there on that play. Counter this time, this side, and this time it is Ian Giesler. And Giesler across the 30 inside the 30 to about the 25.
I'll tell you what, Giesler's got that down to an art form right now. The last 2 times that he's had big success on that, he was able to plant his foot because big old Need 325 coming into the right gap was right there in his way. He was able to plant his foot, cut it up earlier than what he wanted to, but that's where the hole was, did a great read, and ended up getting a first down for Jasper.
1st and 10 for the Cats at the 26. Cats using the play clock really well as we're down to 7 seconds to go on the play clock. Again, the carry goes this time to number 30 for the Cats, Aston Sheeter.
Well, Bell came in from his linebacker spot and did a nice job of shedding the Jasper blocker and getting up in the legs. And he did what you're supposed to do, wrap the leg against Aston Sheeter. That's about your only chance.
Play results in no gain, actually. 2nd down and 10 from the 26 with 4:18 to play in the 3rd quarter.
Like we said, they get one here, they get one there, but no consistency.
Pass this side over towards Albrand is incomplete. That'll bring up 3rd down and 10 for the Cats.
Once again, Bell comes in. He stunts from his outside linebacker position, gets pressure. Winesapple did a nice job, a nice fake, nice plant of the foot, turned to get it to Albrand, which it was going to be there, but as soon as he turned, he had number 29 up in his grill.
Wade Jasper has been running the ball on the ground and moving it on the ground. Needless to say, this ought to be a 4-down territory here, of course, and as they're at the 26-yard line, and they bring 2 receivers on the far side, one on the near side, which is Connor Foley. And here's Winesapple looking upfield. Pass is nearly incomplete, is incomplete, but nearly intercepted by the Panthers as looks like number 2, actually, Aiden Huffman, defending on the play, came up with the near interception.
Well, Huffman was playing on this side, but what Jasper did was they had all their receivers going in. Usually you'll send a couple of guys deep trying to get guys out of the way so the guys underneath will have more open area. Well, he was just playing center field and then broke on the ball, and Jasper's very fortunate they didn't turn that over.
4th and 10 from the 26. Winesapple rolls right, looks to the far sideline, and it is incomplete, and the Wildcats, the Panthers, will take over on downs, as that pass was intended to Jack Albrand on the far sideline. It was wide, a little bit wide. So Reitz takes over, so the Cats kind of miss out on an opportunity, Bob, to really kind of take control of this ball game here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, if their defense can hold. Now, we did eat some clock, but that last series right there was the first time all year Jasper's passed on 4 consecutive downs.
So the Wildcat defense will be back on the field and look to try to hold the Panthers again. Oh! It was a handoff, big hit up the middle. Nice hit by the Wildcats. Looks like that Sheeter inside there making a pop. Actually, number 32 for the Wildcats.
Giesler came up and
looks like Will Wallace along with 16, Ian Giesler making a stop on the play.
That's one of those where Wallace hits him low and Giesler hits him high. And
so Wallace and Giesler combined to make the stop. Actually resulted in a 1-yard loss. 2nd down and 10 from the 25. Here's a pass is completed on the near sideline to number 13, Alex Clark. Giesler on the tackle along with number 24, the Cats, Braylon Bear.
Well, they placed the ball at the 33.5. He caught it at the 31, so he got a 1.5 yards after the catch. We've been doing a great job of keeping those numbers down.
Gain of 9 on the play, 3rd down and 2 now. So another 3rd down for the Panthers. Here's a pass, and this time a complete once again to number 13, Alex Clark. And looks like Bear again on the stop.
Well, the one thing Jasper's not doing is they're not coming up real tight. They're not committing, which tells me that the defensive coordinator is more worried about Reitz's big play and going over the top than catching the ball, and we're doing a good job of finishing our tackles.
From the 41, 1st down and 10 for Reitz. 2:45 to go in the 3rd quarter. Handoff goes to Jay Smith. Now the running back for the Panthers after number 34, Jonas Burnett was injured on the first drive of the second half and has not returned to this ball game. We'll see how much of a difference that makes for the Panthers offense here tonight. So far, so good as far as Jasper's concerned.
Here we come on the stunt.
Gets away, stays on his feet. He's across the 45 and powers his way to about the 47-yard line as the quarterback, number 17, Nate Staley, on the carry. Staley's going to pick up about 7 on the play. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 3 from the 48.
I would guess that if we can hold them to no gain, that they would more than likely punt the ball, but these wide receiver screens were giving them 7 yards right off the bat. There we go again.
Staley again. This time we'll go to, again, number 13, Alex Clark. Clark with about his 3rd or 4th catch here on this drive.
When Reitz came in, everybody talked about their big play, and they definitely have that ability. Jasper's main focus right now is not to give up that big play. They may move the ball, but they're eating a lot of clock.
I was just going to say they're taking a lot of time off the clock on this drive in particular. Staley back, passes again complete. This time to number 11, I believe that is. Number 11 for the Panthers, Branson Beal.
Caught the ball on the 30, dropped him on about the 29-yard line.
And it results in another first down for the Panthers, this time at the Wildcats 29. And this time the Panthers working quickly again, and a whistle and a timeout for Jasper. So the Wildcats want to take a chance to talk about it a little bit here as the defense calls timeout with 1:13 to play here in the third quarter. Play your score, Jasper 20, Reitz 7. Back after this. Back at Jerry Burr Alumni Stadium, it's 1st down and 10 for Reitz at the 29-yard line with 1:13 to play in the third. And the Panthers moving along here on this particular drive as Staley again out of the shotgun. He'll throw another quick pass out in the flat out here on the far sideline. Looks like, again, that reception was made by number 9, Roland Vera.
Well, Jasper's bringing heat from the linebackers, but we're not breaking the initial line of scrimmage.
12-yard pickup now from the 17. The handoff actually goes to Smith. Jay Smith on the carry, and Smith takes it down into near the 5-yard line. So it's going to bring up 1st and goal for the Panthers at the 5.
Well, Jasper's, that run right there, I think they pretty well know that the majority of the game, Reitz is going to put this ball up in the air. Our spy back definitely has to keep his eyes up for number 1, Smith, coming through the line.
Staley out of the shotgun with Smith behind him. Staley looks to the end zone. Passes is incomplete.
Yeah,
it's just short.
We got a good tip on that ball. And I missed the guy that did it. He got up and back into a group of black shirts.
Alex Clark was the intended receiver, and the ball was just short. As Bob alluded, someone got a piece of that football. 2nd down and goal at the 5 with 25 seconds to go.
Carey, you got to think that Maynard's going to come into play somewhere here.
Staley looks, fires, and it will be way overthrown over the head of the intended receiver, number 11, Branson Beal.
Yeah, we're doing a good job on Maynard of really paying good attention to him. But they got some other playmakers there. But because of the pressure, it was, I'm not going to take a sack here on 15, 20 yards back, put all the momentum back on Jasper's side. We're just going to throw it out of the end zone.
Staley comes back to the line of scrimmage after getting the play from the right sideline. 18.4 seconds to go in the third quarter. 3rd down and goal from the 5. 20-7, the Wildcats lead. And Staley back, fires it to the end zone. Incomplete. Once again, I'll bring up 4th and goal. 4th and goal from the 5 coming up for Reitz.
Well, the way the ball came out of his hand, it looked like it was tight, and Wallace comes up and got his hand up there. Now, the ball, if he did touch it, because it looked like the wobble started to happen, he didn't get it by much, but just enough. So here's a big play for Jasper.
Big play for the Wildcat defense. 4th down and goal from the 5 for Reitz. Staley out of the shotgun. Looks to the right sideline, and they will call timeout. So the Panthers call timeout with 14.2 to go in the third quarter of play. The Panthers have 4th and goal at the 5-yard line when we return after this here on the 18 WJTS. With the football, 1st and goal for Reitz at the 5-yard line, Bob.
Well, I'm going to state the obvious here. Play of the game.
Here comes a big play for the Jasper defense. Will they hold the Panthers? 4th and goal at the 5-yard line.
Now they're putting 2 slots out there with Maynard.
Stanley out of the shotgun once again. He will handle, roll off to his left. He gets pressure, throws a pass in his zone. It is batted down. Or was it caught? It was. Looks like a Wildcat got a piece of it, but the Reitz Panthers come up with the ball and the touchdown.
That was a big play. It was a great design because they were going with Maynard over on the backside.
It looked like number 11, Branson Beal, made the catch. So the Panthers score and make it a 7-point ball game. They can make it 6 with this extra point kick. As number 22, Kiefer Sanderson, comes on. His kick is up, and his kick is good. And we got a ball game here, folks. Once again, it's Jasper 20, Reitz 14 with 8 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. We'll be back after this here on 18 WJTS. The Panthers have made it a 6-point ball game with 8 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. It's 20-14, Bob. We were talking about it during the break. Big situation there on that drive were those 4 passes right there on the in Reitz territory.
Well, you had to, yeah, it just goes against all the play calling we've had this year.
Here is the kickoff. It's taken at the 10-yard line by, looks like Day, bringing it forward to the 25 to about the 26.
Well, it's just Jasper come out. I would have to say that we're going to see probably a couple of counters on this. They've been very successful of late. And then just Day and Schneider pounding up the middle.
Well, the Wildcats need to right now take the wind out of Reitz's sails. They got all the momentum right now, needless to say. And, it's up to the Cats offense right now to sustain a good drive with a lot of time to take off the clock. 3 seconds to go actually on the clock here in the 3rd quarter, so this will be the last play of the 3rd stanza. And a pitch goes to the near sideline, and that is Ewing. Ewing across the 50 into Reitz territory at the 45 to maybe the 46, actually.
You know, that's the one thing that's funny about football is Reitz goes down there, just like you alluded to, had all the momentum after scoring on 4th down and everything going right. In football, you have a big play, the very next play for the opposing team. Man, that momentum will jump sidelines in a hurry.
And that will bring us to the end of the 3rd quarter of play here at Jerry Brewer Alumni Stadium and Joe Rolleder Field. Your score, Jasper 20, Reitz 14 here on 18 WJTS. 4th quarter of play here at Jerry Brewer Alumni Stadium, where the Wildcats lead the Panthers of Reitz 20-14, Bob, and big drive here for the Cats as we start the 4th quarter.
Well, if I was Reitz, I think I would kind of line up on the other side. Oh, there they go.
That's right. As we are heading now to the destination is the south end zone now.
Well, what this is going to boil down to in the 4th quarter is what can our offensive line do to their defensive line? Our backs are big enough and strong enough to where if we get hit by their linebackers, we should be able to move the ball 3-4 times.
So 1st and 10 for Jasper at the 46-yard line. On
Nice
the option
read.
again is Winesapple. This time takes a big hit from number 24 for the Panthers, Aiden Wells. But not before Winesapple is able to pick up about 7 on the play, bring up 2nd down and 3 at the Panthers 39.
Well, I tell you what, old 29's been kind of wreaking a little bit of havoc in the last 2 possessions that Jasper's had. But, you know, that Winesapple just showed that he's got a little bit of toughness in that uniform.
So 2nd down and 3 at the 39 for the Cats. Allbrand on the near side. Looks like a slot right. And on the carry for the Cats. Did you see who had the Day? Okay, Isaac Day on the carry. He may pick up perhaps a yard on the play. That will be 3rd down and 2. So big 3rd down play for the Cats coming up, Bob.
Well, their defensive end, especially number 35, Oxley, is doing a nice job. He's not even going towards the tackle. He is hitting that hole.
That's perhaps another counter here coming up, but it will be on the option. Will be Weinzappel, and will he make it up for the first down? We'll see. It looks like he's going to be short. Looking at the official on the far sideline, it looks like he will only pick up maybe a yard at best. It's going to bring up fourth down for the Cats at the 37. So fourth down and 1 coming up for Tony Lewis's ball club.
It's one thing I love about Jasper and Reitz. You know, we just said a few possessions ago, play of the game, play of the game. Well,
right now this is the biggest play of the game at this point for the Wildcats.
Absolutely.
Fourth down and 1 at the 37 as Weinzappel under center. He will hand it off to Ashton Sheeter, and Sheeter should have a first down, and he will. About a pickup of about 2. And plenty for a first down for the Wildcats as they will sustain this drive.
Well, one thing the linebackers are doing, especially when Sheeter has the ball, is Reitz is taking her helmet and burying it in the turf because you got to get him in the legs. Sheeter seen that coming and did a whip with his leg, and I don't know how in God's green earth he kept his balance on that, but high props to that man on that play.
First and 10, Jasper at the 34.
Counter.
Handoff goes to Ewing on the counter. Once again, it's been the biggest play of the night for the Wildcats. Most successful, that is.
Well, Jasper's done such a great job of not putting counter after counter after counter. You know, they'll run 6, 7 different plays, you know, whether to Today or to Sheeter from the outside. And then when the coaches read that their linebackers are stunting hard towards those guys, that's when they bring Ewing and Giesler in that counter.
And that play results in a 7-yard pickup and a second down and 3 at the 27, just under 9 minutes to play. Here is Day on the carry. And Day will take it close to, he will have a first down. So exactly 3 yards on the carry, as he will take it to the 28-yard line. Take that back to the 24-yard line. My apologies. Anyway, first and 10 for the Cats.
Well, we've been taking it down to about 8, 9 seconds on the play clock before we've snapped it. We're already down to 15. Looks like we're heading in that general direction again.
So the Cats sucking up the clock as we speak. And here is Isaac Day, this time off track tackle, and there was a late hit and no flag thrown.
Boy, oh boy, they have let a lot of obvious penalties go by the wayside tonight.
Looked like, I'm not going to call names out. Regardless, the Wright's defender just landed right on top of Day about 3 seconds after the play was over.
Kind of makes you wonder just how bad those personal fouls were down there that they actually threw the flag on.
That's true. Second down and 7 after a pickup of 3 at the 21. Under 8 minutes to play. Here's the counter again. This time again, was that Ewing is on the play? He will take it down into the inside the 20. It's about the 18.
It did look like
it was Cooper Ewing on the play. So Cooper Ewing picks up about 3.
Well,
third down and 4 at the 18.
You got Ewing and you got Giesler. One's 13, one's 16.
That's right. So Cooper Ewing picks up 3, and it's third down and 14 at the 18. Nearing the 7-minute mark. Third down play coming up for the Cats. Handoff goes to, a pitch goes to Ewing. Ewing spins around a defender, gets away from him. He may have the first down. He will.
What an incredible move.
Beautiful move by Cooper Ewing. Enough for the first down. Inside the 15. Or is he?
They're right there.
They're moving the chains. Yes, they're inside the 15 to about the 12, you said. Yeah.
You know, when I see moves like that, my mind tells me that I can do that. My body says that I'm going to have both hips out of location. That was a great move.
All right, we got 2 receivers on the near side. The ball is actually at the 13-yard line. Regardless, it's first down for the Wildcats. And there is keep it on the football, is the quarterback, Weinzappel. And Will Weinzappel picks up probably, it looks like, about another 3 yards. Should bring up about second down and 7.
What do they say about the old black and blue division, the Bears and all that, 3 yards in a cloud of dust?
That's right.
That's what Jasper needs right now. Now we're on turf, so there won't be much dust, but that's all you need, 3-4 yards, and run this clock down, punch it in, and put it out of Reitz's hands.
Or as John Facenda used to say, 10 tons of muscle and a one-track mind. Under 6 minutes to play. 2nd down and 7 at the 10. We've got ball. Was the ball loose on that play?
Yeah, they stripped Bay.
They stripped down, but the Cats held on to it, fortunately.
Well, you just heard every fan go,
oh. That's what I was looking for, where the ball was going, and I couldn't really pick up the number. And then when you heard the gasp come from the Jasper crowd, and then the sigh of relief after the Cats were fortunate enough to hang on to the football.
Well, you just kind of wonder if Jasper runs this ball, if they're going to keep it up the middle so they can keep the ball in the middle, so if we kick an extra or a field goal.
Let's get 6 instead. 3rd down and 6 at the 9. Schneider with the carry. Schneider pounds his way up the middle into the end zone for a touchdown.
I'm with you, Carey.
Yeah. Ashton Schneider from 9 yards out scores and gives the Wildcats a 26-14 lead with 5 minutes to go.
And that right there is why Ashton Schneider is in the backfield. He got hit and drugged those guys 5-6 yards.
Okay, hold the phone on there. Actually, Day on the carry. I saw the 3 on there. I thought for a second it was Schneider. My apologies. So Day on the carry for the touchdown from 9 yards out.
That means my call on Schneider, I'm going to blame on you.
Nobody said football was easy to call. Anybody thinks they are? Well, maybe their name was Don Fisher or something. I don't know. But 3rd down, on the 3rd down and 6 play, the Wildcats score. They make it 26-14. What's going on, for example,
I don't know.
What is ever
yet.
holding up this ball game?
I have no idea.
Sam Leonard is on to kick or actually the Wildcats were going for 2. Weinzappo rolls, throws to the end zone, caught by Connor Foley for the touchdown. Or for the 2-point conversion, I should say.
What did we say, Carey? Put it up where the big boy can go get it.
Yep, that's right. So the Wildcats only for the 2nd time tonight go to Foley, this time for a 2-point conversion. And they now lead it 28-14 with 5 minutes and 2 seconds to go in the ball game. Jasper 28, Reitz 14 here on 18 WJTS. Back at Jerry Brewer Alumni Stadium as Connor Foley is set to kick off at the 40-yard line. That touchdown, Bob, perhaps may have sealed the deal for the Wildcats tonight.
Yeah, the only thing Jasper has to do is what they've done all night, and that's keeping the big play away from Reitz.
Here is Foley's kickoff. High kick, which will roll out of bounds land out of bounds about the 10-yard line, and see if they bring it back to the 35 or what do they do with that one.
Well, a lot of times that's within a 7-8 yard diameter of where the average starting position is. The one thing that you're doing when you do that is the big play is gone on the return. And the way Jasper's been in their first 3 games, their kickoff coverage has been one of the weaker points, although they are getting better, has been one of the weaker points of this team.
So the ball will be set at the 35-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Panthers. 5:02 to go in this ball game.
Here comes the heat.
Pass is complete on the far sideline to number 19, Isaac Maynard.
Now he threw it up just like we did with Foley to where he went up and got it, but they had him positioned over on the sideline so when he caught it, he could step out and stop the clock.
1st and 10 Panthers at the 47-yard line. The Reitz working quickly again. Here's a pass this time is complete to number 9, Roland Vera. Vera still on his feet at the 30. Inside the 30 to about finally wrapped up, and the play will be blown dead at about the 33.
That was impressive. Those young men right there were, for Reitz, were really fighting. Jasper wrapped him up, wouldn't let him go.
A roar of the crowd from the Reitz Panthers is the result of a penalty flag from the Reitz crowd on the far sideline. The result of a penalty flag looks like it will be against the Wildcats after the play.
Yeah,
that you do not need.
No, we either got a personal foul here or
well, it's a big one. Look at that walk-off. So
personal foul, face mask, I bet.
See the indication from the referee. Dead ball foul, personal foul against Jasper. Gives the Panthers a football. Now all of a sudden, Bob, at the 14.
Well, they're not in the end zone yet. So Jasper's, they've got plenty of time to stand up.
Here as a pass is complete on the far sideline by number 11? Branson Beal, perhaps.
But he did not get out of bounds. Clock is running.
4.5 minutes to play.
Jasper doing a good job of stopping the yards after catch.
2nd down and 5 at the 10.
Got to look for Maynard down here, you'd think.
Staley looks. Staley fires. He has a man into the end zone, and just like that, the Panthers score.
Well, he's 6'5", and he used every inch of it.
And that was to number 19, Isaac Maynard. But just like that, Reitz is within a touchdown with 4:13 to play.
Yeah, not really what you wanted to see, but Jasper has take the penalty out of it because that was the big help. Jasper still has this game in their control.
Number 22 for the Panthers, Keithler Sanderson, on for the extra point, and he is perfect on the night. 3 for 3 as Sanderson from extra point kicks. He makes this a 7-point ball game. Jasper 28, Reitz 21 with 4:13 to go in the contest. We'll be back after this here on ATWJTS. Back at Alumni Stadium, where the Wildcats now hold on to a 7-point lead as the Reitz Panthers score quickly after Jasper had taken a 28-14 lead. It's now 28-21, Bob, with 4:13 to go. And the Panthers see what they do on this kick as the Cats have Day and Bear back to receive the kickoff, and they will do a little onside kick. And this time it is quickly recovered by the Wildcats, number 32, Will Wallace.
With their big play ability and as quickly as they march down on their two of their 3 scoring drives, that right there tells me that their coach does not have confidence in their defense to stop our running game.
And the Wildcats, as a result, have excellent field position at looks like the 44-yard line. So we were talking about during the break, it's only a matter of a couple of first downs here, Bob, and the Cats can control their own destiny in this contest.
Well, easier said than done, but 325 sitting out there in the middle for Reitz has got to be wearing down.
Weinzappo on the option, keeps the football. He is tackled by number 73 for the Panthers, and that, of course, is number 73, Jackson Brown.
But another 3 yards.
3 running on empty. So,
well, the yard markers look like it's 3 yards now. They gave them 4 up on the scoreboard, but of course we got to go by the sticks.
It's 2nd down, regardless, at the 48-yard line. Allbrand splitting far to the far side.
Taking the clock all the way down.
Giesler in the slot. Handoff goes to Aston Sheeter. The big man pulls his way up the middle for another first down inside the 25 to about the 35 to the 31.
That was a man on a mission right there.
He looked like a bull going right through there, Bob.
Well, these upperclassmen know. Protect the ball, couple of first downs. There's not a gosh darn thing Reitz can do about it.
They have a pair of timeouts actually still in their pocket, though, but the clock is now under 3 minutes to play. And the Cats had the football 1st and 10 at the 31. They lead at 28-21.
If they keep Jasper to no gain, they will burn a timeout.
1st and 10 from the 31. Weinzapple hands it off to Day. Day on the near side. He's going to be ankle tackled by number 47 for the Panthers. Mason Mossberger. but not before Day picks up 5, and a 2nd down and 5 come up at the 26.
Well, here's the deal. We're running the play clock way down, which, of course, takes off to the game clock. But even though they have 2 timeouts, if we get 6-7 yards of carry, and you try to call timeout, I mean, you're shooting yourself in the foot. It's almost got to be on a no-gain play.
Well, we are down to 7 seconds on the play clock, 2:06 on the game clock. Day, actually take that back. It's actually Wildcats keeps the football, and he will take it in the end zone for 26 yards out and a touchdown. And that will seal it for the Wildcats. Will Wildcats from 26 yards out. He keeps the football and runs it from 26 yards out. And the Wildcats lead it 34-21 with 1:57 to play.
Well, he made a commitment to do the run, and he did it, but that was not an option play. Only 4 times tonight did I see Wildcats actually run like what we used to do with the power sweep, come out, or the power coming out to the end. There was no pitch man out there. He just made a decision, and he made Reitz pay.
The extra point kick is good, and the Wildcats lead it 35-21 with 1:57 to play in this ball game.
That's making a statement right there.
The Wildcats are on their way to going 3-0 and on the season, 3-0 in SIAC conference play, to hang on to a share of the lead in conference play. As Jasper, Reitz, along with Modern Day and Bossy, of all teams, we're going into week 3 with 2-0 records in Southern Indiana Athletic Conference play tonight. The Wildcats will move to 3-0.
Well, Carey, the big question, we were talking about the teams being undefeated coming into this game. There was a lot of questions about Reitz. We know that they can, they put a 41 against Vincennes, but they played Harrison and Vincennes, 2 are the bottom feeders in this conference. Jasper played Memorial. Now, they did play Harrison, but everybody touted Memorial as, one of the top teams in the conference, and we don't put the ball on the carpet a couple of times. We win that by 3 scores.
So Connor Foley set to kick off from the 40-yard line. And Foley rolls it again out of the end zone. That's something the Wildcats, Bob, are definitely going to have to work on the kickoffs.
Well, the way it's working tonight, you almost got to guess that Coach Lewis is saying, look, we'll take the penalty, or defense has done a good job of, when they do catch the passes, other than the one they had on the previous series, they're only getting 1 or 2 yards after the catch. Coach Lewis is like, look, minute 57 seconds left. We've really controlled the game. Kick it out of bounds. No big play possibilities.
So
they're going to make Jasper kick again.
Are they going to make a kickoff once again? Okay. Well, Bob, like I said, this is a big victory for the Wildcats coming into this ball game. I mean, it gives them a 3-0 conference mark. Again, that's actually for Jasper. It's just a big, great start for them.
Well, it couldn't have gone better. Everything's been clicking. Now, there is a minute 57 left, but the way the game's gone the whole night, the bottom's just going to have to fall completely out of the boat for Jasper, and I just don't see that happening.
Well,
but yeah, big start for him this year.
So Foley once again will have a kickoff, this time from the 35. And this time he, again, out of bounds. So 2 straight kicks and 2 straight kicks out of bounds. Actually, not the first and second times that's happened tonight.
Well, the thing that's happening is when Foley's coming up to kick the ball, it's kind of like your golf swing when you leave your shoulders open and you kind of push the ball to the right. His hips are not coming around. And let's just punch it up in the air, and because it looks like they'll mark us all the way back to the 5 if they can.
This time it looks like they're going to bring Sam Leonard out to kick off. This time from the 30. So perhaps the 3rd time it will be the charm.
Well, Coach Lewis is definitely not happy. You don't see these kind of changes made this quickly.
There's a ground ball kick up the middle. And it will be down by the Panthers at the 42-yard line.
Well, that couldn't have worked out any better for Jasper. I know Reitz is just get on the ball, let's get our offense out there. Now, they did lose a second, but there was no big play, and the ball died right away. And Jasper's got them within 10 yards of what their average starting position has been all night.
I said the 42-yard line, make that actually the 37. So 156 to play, and the Panthers will have the football.
Well, Reitz is really going to have to start punching the ball 15, 20 yards down the field.
Staley. Pass almost, it is intercepted. Braylon Bear with his second interception of the night. And for the second time of the night, he will bring it back for the end zone for a touchdown. However, it's coming back as a flag goes down.
Well, it was over here on the sideline, so hopefully it's a sideline warning because they haven't given us one yet tonight.
We'll see what the penalty is about here, but Braylon Bear for the second time comes up with the interception this evening, and he takes it for the second time, runs it back in the end zone for a touchdown, but we'll see if it stands.
It should be a warning because usually they warn you before they throw a flag on it.
It is a touchdown. They signaled the touchdown. I guess it was just a sideline warning. Why throw that at this point in the ballgame? But either way, we'll take it. So Braylon Bear with his second pick six of the night. What a night defensively for number 20 for the Cats.
Well, the first interception, the pick six that he had, the ball was kind of thrown right to him. That young man earned that one. He made a great jump on the ball. Not only when he hit it and it popped up in the air, he kept his concentration, hauled it in, turned on the Jets. 6 points for Jasper.
So the 5'10", 144-pound junior for the Cats, having a great night defensively with 2 interceptions, both returned for touchdowns. And it's 41-21. The extra point kick is up, and it is good. 42-21 is our score with 148. And now you can safely say the Wildcats are going to pull out the third win of the year.
Oh, absolutely. and even though Reitz, we kind of knew they were going to throw to the second half, I think they ran the ball 2-3 times. But now they were forced to it. If it's not a completion, clock stops, then they come back, regroup, try to do the same thing. But they done that play about 7-8 times to Bear tonight, and he's had enough of it. And he told them right there he was not taking any more of it, took it to the house, sealed the game.
So for the Wildcats, big victory tonight against the Reitz Panthers. Who will fall to 2-1. Jasper will improve to 3-0. And the Cats will have, once again, Sam Leonard coming out to kick off.
Just keep it in the middle of the field, young man.
Tell you what, these last about the last 3 minutes of this ball game have lasted about 45 minutes, it seems like. Wave kick picked up and brought back by number 51 for the Panthers, Cole Brantley.
Number 51, Cole Brantley.
I will say this, I will give props to the Evansville Reitz fans. This game is done, and they're not walking out.
And, of course, as always, Reitz brings a great crowd where they go. I mean, we've seen that many times that we've faced them in the playoffs before we became regular season foes. One of the finest football programs in all of Indiana. Staley back, and he is going to be brought down with a vengeance by Connor Foley. Foley just took number 17, Nate Staley, down as a statement in this ball game.
Well, that's, if I recall right, the first sack of the night for Jasper, because Reitz has been dropping him back, yard and a half. He's planting his foot, he's getting it out. But now that they're down, not much time left, they've got to have their receivers go deeper, and it takes longer for that to go. And Foley just said, you give me a half second, because he's been close a lot tonight. You give me another half second, I'm going to bury you, and that's just what he did.
7-yard loss, second down and 17 at the 39. Staley, low snap, hands it off actually to number 1, Jay Smith. And Smith still on his feet and is finally going to be blown dead
Yeah, that's throwing the white flag up right there.
We are under a minute to play, 47 seconds on the clock.
The 3rd and 12 from the 43.
Goodness gracious, this is an impressive win by this Jasper team.
They've come up with the big plays when they needed to, offensively and defensively.
Well, other than the personal foul penalty, they've kept their composure well the whole night.
You look at the 2 interceptions by Braylon Bear, and then you add to that the big stop on a goal line stand. And as a result, the Wildcats of Jasper are going to 3-0 here on 2021 as they will take down the Reitz Panthers of Evansville by the final score of 42-21. Once again, the final score, Jasper 42, Reitz 21. Bob, I tell you what, like I said, it's a big statement of a win for the Wildcats. Huge win tonight.
Well, of course, Bear's going to stick out with the 2 pick sixes. A lot of people are happy if they can get 2 pick sixes in the course of a year. He got 2 of them tonight. The first one, you know, he was playing center field, kind of the ball was thrown towards him. That second one was, if you could take that tape, that's the way you want to teach these youngsters coming up how to play that defensive back position. He stood back, ball was released, broke on the ball, kept his concentration, pick 6.
So the Wild, and I tell you what, just like I said, a lot of big plays for this team tonight. They came out to play. Got obviously some things that need to work on, the kicking for one thing, but we'll not dwell on that right now because this is a big win for Jasper against the mighty Reitz Panthers, and like I said, you can't get any better than that for a lot of points.
Yeah, with the history that Jasper and Reitz has had, within the last 10, 15 years, we've dropped, close to 40 points on them 2 years in a row. That just doesn't happen. But the big thing about it, and the one guy that I'm really impressed with, without, other than Bear, that's kind of obvious, is Weinzappel. Weinzappel has made some really good decisions tonight. Kept the ball a little bit too much for my comfort on some of the pitches, but, no turnovers other than the 1 interception, which he got, he was forced out. But he did a great job of reading, hitting the hole, and making the decision and just downright going.
Well, we got the stats now, courtesy of Dave and Matt Messmer. We appreciate their always helping us out night after night in these Jasper football games. For the Wildcats, they led the ball game with 24 total first downs, 18 to Reitz. Big thing, stats tonight, of course, for the Wildcats was Isaac Day on the ground with 105 yards rushing on 17 carries. Will Weinzappel, 75 yards on 10 carries. Cooper Ewing with 77 yards on 12 carries. But Ian Giesler with 72 yards on 4 carries. On receiving end, Jack Albrand made 3 catches for 36 yards. Connor Foley, 1 catch for 10. On the night, Will Weinzappel, 4 of 11 for a total of 46 yards. And, of course, for Reitz, of course, they were led in rushing this evening by Jonas Burnett, even though he did not play the entire second half, Bob.
That was, in my opinion, the turning point of the game. I mean, I always felt that Jasper had control of the game, but what he can do, none of the guys coming in could do. So that was a big plus. I hope the young man is okay. I just absolutely hate seeing that. But the way he was stutter stepping and getting 6-7 yards on his runs, like we had said earlier, when they caught the ball, we were keeping the yards after catch down. But Burnett, he was getting contact and still getting 6-7 yards. So a big benefit for Jasper when he left the game.
Now, despite the 21 points of which the Wildcats did give up tonight, and they did give up a couple of quick scores, especially the one driver in the third quarter, Jasper's defense came up with some big plays.
Yeah, the thing about their quick scoring drives, it was very obvious to me that Coach Lewis and his coaching staff made a commitment not to give up the big play. The big play not only gets you points right away, but it takes momentum in a big way and puts it on your sideline. What they did with these receivers tonight for the majority of the night was really quite impressive, and not many people can do that against Reitz.
Exactly. And speaking of the defensive side, Braylon Bear was the big man for the Cats tonight. He had 6 total tackles, 2 assists for a total of 7. Charlie Kabrick with 5 solo tackles and 1 assist. Ty Wiseman with 4 and 2 assists, and Cale Schmidt also picked up 4 tackles with 1 assist. But the big thing again defensively was Braylon Bear with a pair of pick sixes tonight. A 5-yard pass, a 27-yard pass interception in the first quarter, and then sealed the deal with a 40-yard interception return with just a minute 48 to play.
Yeah, like I had mentioned when he had done that, he gotten hit. Both actually, Allbrand on this side got popped with it a couple of times. With them running, we're playing 6-7 yards out, committing not to give up the big play. And the timing was so good. Quarterback half step back, releases the ball. The guy turns around, ball's already there. By the time we react to it, they've got 5-6 yards. But Reitz against Harrison and against Vincennes, their big thing was the big play, and Jasper just did not give that up tonight.
So the Wildcats improved to 3-0. Rice drops to 2-1 in the Southern Indiana Athletic Conference. The Cats, again, big win tonight, and they amongst the leaders as we, of course, there was a 4-way tie going into just this third week with both Jasper and Rice undefeated, Mater Dei undefeated, as, of course, Bossy, too. And so we haven't heard of how those teams have done, but the Cats still are in first place here in the going into week 4 as they will head next week back to Evansville. And looks like they take on,
we're at Bossy.
At Bossy next week at Inlow Field. So next week, Bossy was really undefeated coming in. Well, what do you think next week against the Bulldogs?
Boy, I tell you what, Carey, I haven't been able to watch any film on Bossy yet, but one thing about Bossy, they're going to have athletes. But they're not going to have the amount of athletes across the board that Reitz did tonight. Jasper just really took this game from Reitz. As far as Bossy goes, it's a lot. Don't keep your composure. Don't make the mistakes. Don't give up the big play. And Jasper's running attack, and the counters, Coach Lewis is doing such a great job of calling these plays at the right time. He sees those linebackers flowing harder and harder and harder. Here comes a counter. Well, now the linebacker's got a release. Then he goes back to Sheeter. He goes back to Day, right up to the left side. I mean, it's great play calling. And right now, through 3 games, Coach Lewis is on fire.
So the Wildcats will ride back to Evansville for the next couple of weeks. Of course, they started off the season on the road at Memorial and Harrison. Finally came home for week 3 against Rice, but back on the road for the next couple of weeks at Boston, again at Mater Dei. I think that should be an interesting matchup, and we'll worry about that when that comes around. So the Cats are on the road next week at Inlow Field to take on the Bossy Bulldogs. That game will start at 7:30 local time, and of course we'll have that game for you next week, next Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, and then Sunday at 7 p.m. here on 18 WJTS. So the Wildcats improved, like I said, to 3-0 on the season. Rice drops to 2-1. Once again, the final score, Jasper 42, Rice 21 here at Jerry Brewer Alumni Stadium. For Jeremy Markos and Bob Welp, I'm Carey Schneider saying good night from Jerry Brewer Alumni Stadium and Joe Rollletter Field.